All right, Shalom, it's your brother Shamar from the Phoenix camp. And with that being said, I want to give all honor, glory, and praise to Yahweh, Bashem Yahushai, Bashem Makakadash. Double honor to the elders of Great Millstone, and peace and salutations to the brothers that are doing this work in truth and sincerity. Let's jump right into the scripture. This is Proverbs 26 and 24. It says, "He that hateth dissembleth with his lips." So let's get that word dissembleth, disguises. So he that hateth disguises himself, man. And first and foremost, that's talking about our adversary, Satan. Because that's what the word Satan means. It means adversary. Our enemy, Esau, Edom. He is contrary to Jacob, which are Israelites, man. Come. And that can be found in that was prophecy. That was prophecy. That can be found in Genesis the 25th chapter. Let's go ahead and get that real quick. Genesis the 25th chapter. Let's see where I can find it. Yeah, come. So Genesis 25 and 23, it says, "The Most High said unto two nations are in thy womb." And we're speaking about Jacob and Esau, and then the nations that are going to come out of Jacob and Esau, the nation of the Israelites, the nation of the Edomites. Get that word nations. It says a nation, a people. So the people that were to come out of Jacob, and the people that were to come out of Esau, Edom, and the people that would come out of Israel, and the people that come out of the Edomites, the so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native American, and the confusion of face, and the Edomites by bloodline, so-called white people, man. That's what this, and it says right here, it says, "In two manner people shall be separated from thy bowels, and the one people shall be stronger than the other, and the elder shall serve the younger." And also it says in the previous verse that they struggled together within her womb, verse 22. "And the children struggled together with her, said to be so why my dust, she went to inquire of the Most High," man. So they were fighting in the womb. They struggled together. Let's get that word struggled. There's not a definition for it. We'll go to the dictionary definition. It says make forceful, violent efforts to get free, restraint, and constriction. They were violent with each other, man, in the womb. You got to understand that. There's also says to fight, grapple, wrestle, fight, scuffle, brawl, tussle. So they were fighting in the womb, man. They were fighting in the womb. Their spirit was already set contrary to one another in the womb, man. So the spirit of the Israelite and the spirit of the so-called Edomite, the so-called white man, the Edomite, they are by nature contrary to each other. So there's not gonna be no love between these two people, between these two nations. And that's why he speaks with hate. He that hateth, going back to Proverbs 26:24. Let's go ahead and get that again. This is Proverbs 26 and 24. And it says, "He that hateth dissembles himself," and that we put that word disguises himself. Disguise it with his lips. So he disguises his hatred in speaking to you. And that's something that you got to be aware of, because the scripture says that he does that. So when you're amongst these Edomites, when you can tell they're Edomites by their spirit, you got to understand the fact that no matter how nice, so-called nice they seem to be, that they're disguising themselves with their lips. They're saying the right things to you to get whatever desired effect they want from you. And that goes from your average Edomite that you see or that you work with to these politicians, man, these Edomite politicians, up to the president. They disguise themselves with their lips. Well, now, they're being more blatant about it, but they're not. They're disguising themselves because they're trying to generalize it to who it's to. We all know it's geared to you Israelites, man. It's geared to you so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans. I said, "He that dissembles with his lips and layeth up deceit, he that hateth dissembles with his lips and layeth up deceit what's in his heart." Words smoother than butter, right? So knowing this, it should give you a different mindset on how you deal with people and what you say to people and what you and what you reveal about yourself in the presence of your enemy. Always remember that we are at war, man. Spiritual war first and foremost. But there's a war that's waged upon us on every level. Every facet is geared toward your destruction. And brothers talked about that before. The food that you eat, the clothes that you wear, the air you breathe is geared to the destruction of the Israelite, the so-called Black Latino Native American, because they know who we are. They always know who we are. There's always been a perpetual hatred. There's always been a plan of this there's always been an agenda geared toward the destruction of God's chosen people, and that's plain to see, man. It's not a conspiracy theory; it's facts. But I'm gonna get a few more scriptures. I'll just continue on verse 25. It says, "When he speaketh fair, believe him not, for there are 7 abominations in his heart. There is complete abomination in his heart. So we speak as fair, believe him not." Let's get that word. It says the thing that causes disgust or hatred. So this says there are 7 abominations in his heart, whose hatred is covered by his deceit. Going back to verse 24. His wickedness shall be showed before the whole congregation. Let's get that word congregation. Assembly, company, assembly, religious purposes. So he's being. We know who he is. We know his agenda because we filter it through the scriptures. We know why he's doing things and what's the purpose and main motive of it. He has been showed before the congregation, before the men of the Lord. That's why we go on the highways and hedges and we warn our people about Esau's agenda. And first and foremost, to wake up the elect. Which then I'm going to get Proverbs, Psalms 12 and 2. This is Psalms 12 and 2. It says, okay, I'll start at verse 1. It says, Psalms 21, help Yahweh, for the godly man ceases, but the faithful fail from among the children of men. Yeah, because there's complete utter wickedness, upon the earth, man. They speak vanity, everyone was his neighbor, idly or falsely. And that's not only the Edomite, that's also these bugged out, wicked ass Jake. Because Jake has taken on the wickedness of the Edomites. There's a scripture that says he, roughly paraphrased, he outdoes the wicked in their wickedness. He takes it to a whole other level, man. Because Jake, in his most wicked form, is a backstabbing, deceitful, conniving creature. And brothers can testify to that, man. Brothers seen that. Especially when he's on drugs. On Esau's pharmakeia or witchcraft. So I'm gonna run that back again. It says, they speak vanity, everyone his neighbor. Let's get the word vanity again. Idly or falsely, with flattering lips and a double heart do they speak. Yeah, because they always trying to scheme and scam to get over on the next man. It said, and the Most High shall cut off all the flattering lips and tongues that speak his proud things. Because says our tongue will prevail, our lips our own, who is Lord over us. That's that's talking about Esau. That's talking about Esau and his pride. The pride in the heart has deceived these, scripture says, man. So we have said with our tongue will prevail, right? Because they think they're so smart and they understand the psychology of Jake, and they invest a lot of study in so-called social engineering, that they know how to run the game, so to speak. Who is Lord over us? For the oppression of the poor, for the sign of the needy, now will I rise, says the Most High. And we are the poor and needy. It's not talking about the poor and needy, some bum out there that doesn't want to work. The scripture says the man don't work, he don't eat. Because he's high on drugs. It could be some Edomite, bugged out Edomite out there that don't want to work, and bugged out Jake. The poor and needy is talking about the Israelites, so-called Black Latino Native American. We are the poor and needy. We are the poor, we are the needy. It says, I will set him for safety, From him that puffeth at him. That's more specifically talking about Esau, Edom. I will set him for safety, him that puffeth at him. Let's get that word puffeth. It says to blow the breath, to air, to fan, to breathe, to exhaust, to exhale, to puff, to excite, inflame, to puff, pant, fort, to breathe out, to blow, blast, to excite or inflame, man. Let's get that word inflame in the dictionary. This is the word inflame in the Webster's 1828. It says to the definition 5 is the one I'm looking for. It says to provoke, to irritate, to anger. To provoke, to irritate, to anger, man. And we certainly seen him do that. You know, during the riots that happened last summer, or when Jake was bugging out. You know, he incited you, Jake, to riot. He provoked you to riot. You know, there's reports where Esau put pallets of bricks in the street, hoping that you destroy your own community, hoping to catch you doing wickedness, so he can come scoop you up. It says to increase, to argument, to inflame in presumption, to grow hot, angry, and painful. So that's what it is, man. Let's go back to scriptures. It says from him that puffeth at him, and you know we went to a few definitions that are in that word. You know, so the point of it is this, man. You gotta have the mentality of how to approach your enemy. You know, the scriptures give you many examples that we are at war and that we have enemies and we must approach them a certain way. One of them that comes to mind is to be wise as a serpent. Let me get that one. And a serpent is subtle, man. And I'm gonna get the definition of the word subtle. Salak. It says, this is Matthew 10:16. It says, behold, I send you forth as sheep in the midst of wolves. Be ye therefore wise as serpents and harmless, innocent as doves. So we're supposed to keep our hands clean from the wickedness that Esau does, but still you move with wisdom around him. You know, so that's part of the mentality of having a right interaction with our so-called enemy. So you got to be subtle, man. That's what a serpent is. He's subtle. I said, let's get to where it's wise right here. Intelligent, wise, prudent, mindful of one interest. You got to be mindful of this devil's interest towards you. And we are, because we know the true motives of what everything that he says. We know this. We know Esau's true motives when he offers these money and these things and stimmy checks and whatever you want to call them, man, and the other things he's gonna offer. You know, he's gonna either give you because look, he's gonna give you the carrot or the stick. He's giving you the carrot already in the form of stimulus and take the Vicky's juice and we'll give you hamburgers and weed and comic books and whatever the fuck, man. And now that he sees that that's not working no more, he's gonna bring out that stick. You know, he's already threatened. He's making those threats. You know, talking about the lack of supplies. If everyone doesn't get that Vicky's juice, you know, that's been news articles have been coming up about that, man. So you got to understand his agenda, his motives, you know, what he's all about. You know, with that, I'm going to close it out with two scriptures that are going to drive the point home. This Ezekiel 35:5. Ezekiel 35:5, and it says, because thou hast had a perpetual hatred. Who is that talking about? That's talking about our adversary enemy Esau, Edom, and has shed the blood of the children of Israel by force of the sword, the power of the sword, because that's his blessing. His blessing is violence. It says, in the time of their calamity, in the time of the iniquity had an end. Therefore, as I live, says the Most High, I will prepare thee unto bloodshed. We went to that before. And bloodshed shall pursue thee, says the Most High. Thou made a bloodshed, even blood shall pursue thee. So he's going to get his. But the point of the scripture is in verse 5, because thou hast had a perpetual hatred. So that hatred hasn't stopped. That's what the word perpetual means. Let's get the word in the Strongs. Long duration, antiquity, futurity, forever, ever, everlasting, evermore, perpetual, old, ancient, and world. And we brought example of that going back to Genesis, the 25th chapter. Of that perpetual hatred. But the two infants, they struggled or wrestled or fought in the womb. I'm going to get Jeremiah 10:28. Jeremiah 10 Is it 28? Oh, hold up. It was Jeremiah 10 and 25. So ultimately, this is going to happen for their hatred, for their destruction of the Israelites, for their violence against Jacob. This is Jeremiah 10:25. Pour out thy fury upon the heathen. That includes the Edomites that know thee not, and upon the families that call not on thy name. They have eaten up Jacob and devoured him, consumed him. Hey, we have been devoured. We have been consumed. We've been killed in the millions. You so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans have been killed in the millions and consumed him and have made his habitation desolate. So because of that, the fury of the Lord is going to come upon these heathen, these Edomites. So know who your enemy is, man. But with that being said, just a real quick lesson. Most I wouldn't hope is edifying. But I want to give all honor, glory, and praise to Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. Call halal Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. Brothers, keep on pushing. Shalom.